The usual argument is, well, I'm a high Calvinist. I believe in limited atonement. So I preach to everybody because I don't know who the elect are. Well, here's your problem. You don't know who the elect are, but God does. And for those among that group who are non elect, if you are a high Calvinist, by definition, you believe that Jesus only died for the sins of the elect.
Yeah.
He did not die for the sins of the non elect. Therefore, you are offering to people who are non elect, even though you don't know who they are, but you're offering, and here's what's even worse, God is offering through you. 2 Corinthians 5:18-20.
Yep.
God is offering through you to people who are non elect the opportunity of salvation, but there's no atonement for their sins.
Wow.
They cannot be saved. Even if they wanted to be, even if they did say, well, I'm ready to believe in Jesus, sorry, there's no atonement for your sin.
Right.
So moderate Calvinists recognize that problem. And
Right.
they point out that, hey, you can't have that both ways. There's a real problem. So their understanding of the extent of the atonement as being for everybody is crucial for the preaching of the gospel. Now, I might add this, Dr. Flowers. Hyper Calvinists recognize that problem.
Yes.
And they carry it to the logical conclusion and say, well, you shouldn't be offering the gospel to everyone. Therefore, you can't have a well-meant gospel offer on a limited atonement platform. And hyper Calvinists recognize the contradiction, and then they go to that extreme. Now, they still believe in preaching to everybody, but they just believe in giving the bare facts of the gospel and not particularly inviting anyone and not offering the gospel because they can't know who the elect are, and God can't be offering that which doesn't exist.
The way I've put it is that the more moderate or 4-point type of Calvinist is more consistent with the Bible, but they're less consistent with the systematic itself, and therefore we would respect the fact that they're willing to be inconsistent, at least maybe even logically, seemingly inconsistent with their own systematic, in order to maintain what's clearly addressed in the Scripture with regard to unlimited atonement, but it creates another set of problems. The difficulty of God's love, for example, by Carson. Those kinds of issues are only difficult because of their view of election, their faulty views. And so I would agree with how you explain that. I think that's real clear to understand why those distinctions have to be made. The term the well-meant offer is often used in this discussion because it seems to me for the Calvinist to make a well-meant offer, you can't offer a gift you haven't purchased. It's disingenuous to offer something as if you've purchased it when you really haven't. And so you must believe that God has purchased and God has redeemed or made that provision of atonement for anyone you're offering it to, in order to be truly genuine in that offer. And I think that's really valuable. So